Localism book chats. I tell you about a book, you don't have to read it. Let's go. Let's start our discussion of Biehl and Bookchin's The Politics of Social Ecology, Libertarian Municipalism. Murray Bookchin was a capital L leftist who lived in Burlington, Vermont. He developed a very specific political philosophy he called libertarian municipalism, and he developed that philosophy after joining and then leaving pretty much every other kind of leftist group you can think of. He was, at various times in his life, a communist, a Trotskyite, and an anarchist, before eventually finding reasons to not like any of those groups anymore and choosing to move on to something else. That leaves us with Janet Biehl. Biehl was Bookchin's, and I'm stealing this quote, lover, collaborator, editor, researcher, advocate, and finally nurse for 2 decades. Biehl met Bookchin when Bookchin was teaching his political philosophy of libertarian municipalism in Burlington, Vermont. As you can see, the two shared a close and very complicated personal relationship. She wrote The Politics of Social Ecology, Libertarian Municipalism as an attempt to summarize Bookchin's ideas and what libertarian municipalism was. Biehl wrote the book under Bookchin's supervision and in collaboration with him. It was written in 1998, which was 8 years before Bookchin would die in 2006. After Bookchin's death, Biehl drifted away from the ideas of libertarian municipalism, and now is on the record as saying she no longer supports it as a way to solve the problems America is facing. So at this point, you might fairly be asking, why do we care about the words of some old dead leftist from Burlington, Vermont, written by a woman who now doesn't believe in the things she wrote anymore, and that set out a political philosophy that never caught hold in America, and arguably saw its greatest success in certain Kurdish populations overseas in the Middle East? Well, because when you read this book and learn about libertarian municipalism, you can see that on the surface, it is damn near identical to localism. Libertarian municipalism's big pitch is that we should give local governments more authority and turn them into directly democratic popular assemblies. All communities should have the ability to self-rule via these local directly democratic assemblies without interference from outside state entities like the state and federal government. That is literally the solution that localism is proposing. Biehl and Bookchin's book on libertarian municipalism also has all this great info about how to maneuver in local politics. They suggest forming these study interest groups where you develop your political philosophy of direct democracy and then tie that issue to other issues in the community that community members care about. Then you start running candidates first as educational opportunities and then eventually with the intent to get direct democracy-friendly people onto the city council so you can amend your city charter and become a self-ruling, directly democratic municipality. Again, this is all stuff that sounds a lot like what localism is trying to accomplish. Does that mean that localism and libertarian municipalism are just the same thing? No. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and come back for part 2 of our book chat on this book, where we'll discuss why libertarian municipalism and localism are both motivated by very different political, cultural, and social objectives.